Well, hello everyone. I saw that Niz has already showed up in the chat, and I actually do have a new follower, Griff2K9. Uh, oh, and Big Man Icy. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you for joining in and being a first time viewer. Griff29 also is a newer subscriber. He's actually the person who is going to be finishing up the leather axe sheath. Actually, that's right here. The only catch with that is I need to make sure he actually is in the stream, because he's going to be making the decision on the color, hopefully mid-stream, so you guys will actually be able to see that. Otherwise, if not, that will be put on hold. The leather flashlight case that I've been working on for the last couple of days. Had to do a couple other tweaks to it, but looking like we are actually in good condition here. I had to do a little bit of wet molding on this first to make sure I had the size right. That's why there's actually some slight creases in this here, because it actually will be formed more closely to the flashlight that will be going inside the pouch. But I needed to know that so I knew where I had to put the actual punches so I could stitch this thing. So it was one of those, I need to do one in order to do the other type of situation. So I've got some very faint marks on here that I could actually go ahead and do, where I could go ahead and I could punch those out. I could stitch that in place. Once that's all stitched in place, I'm planning on putting the wooden dowel that I used originally to do the wet forming. That is going to go back in the case when I dye this, and then it'll actually be able to sit and wait. Niz, because you actually know me outside of the stream, you helped me out before regarding trying to pick up a drill, or not a drill, the grill, sorry. No. Yes and no. I went to go pick it up, they were not there. I reached out to the company, they said, hey, we done messed up. We'll actually go and drop it off at your place. So on Wednesday, they are actually going to be coming over to drop that off. Oh, one other thing. Give me 1 second, guys. There we go. No idea where it's at, but I know normally I have my overview camera shot on here. I might have that back up. I was looking around frantically this morning trying to find out where my half mask is, but I cannot find it for the life of me. So there might not be much overview camera shots for you guys today. Also, something else that came to mind, and just as quickly, something else that I did as well is I went ahead and I bought a bunch of soundproofing panels. So the reason for doing that was because I ended up hearing in the chat that there was a little bit of echo that was happening. So to minimize on possible echo and improve on sound quality, I'm hoping that the sound panels that I put in actually increase sound quality for you guys, minimize any possible echo that you guys get too. So you guys are gonna have to let me know in the chat how the audio is, and if it is an improvement or if it's kind of like a moot point. There we go. Excellent. Just catching up in the chat there. Yes, I know, closed captioner. You don't like it when I use OBS. I'm gonna have to disable you. You live in Michigan too, right? Just moved here. Yes, Icy. I live in Michigan as well. I've been here since Jesus, I don't even remember. Give me a second. Haha, that worked. Just doing something real quick. Sorry, everyone. And hopefully the stream quality is a lot better going forward. Part of the reason that I'm hoping that is the case is because I actually I think I might have figured out why my stream was constantly dropping out before, and it was because I had a VPN running. Like right now I'm constantly sitting at 2600 kilobits, which is like 2.5 megs, I think. I'm not a major computer person, but that should have been the resolution to that. So we are going to hope that is and was our solution. Doing something real quick here. Lining up some punches. That should be, yes. Sorry about that noise. Beautiful. Thank you so much, big man. I hope Icy's okay. Yes, Niz, I really am hoping that I'm really hoping that business or whatever turns out, because I really loved that. I really loved that freaking grill as well. Alright, this is gonna get tricky. Yeah. All the way. There we go. So Icy, since you mentioned it, that you moved here in February, you have now been able to experience most, if not all, of what Michigan has to offer in terms of weather, being that winter is like 10 months of the year, and use a different one. Winter is like 10 months of the year, and then we get 3 solid months of nice weather before it starts getting cold and nasty and again. Sorry, I just got my eyes on the project real quick. There we go. Wrong Siri, wrong. Winter is 3 months of the year. Construction season is 10 months. Oh, wrong, sir. Sorry. The exclamation point and how it looked on there looked like you had Siri. There we go. And I need one more punch. I'm gonna have to go with the 3 mil space. Yeah. That's the winner. Sweet. Okay. So this needs to be right there. So part of why I'm kind of working at like a breakneck pace. On this and not looking at the chat as much, at least currently, is because I did tell the person whom I'm making this for that I would have this for him ideally Monday or Tuesday. Since I got that there. I just want to make sure that I got this mostly set and done. There we go. And then with that, right there and right there. But I will look at the chat in one momento. Beautiful. That can get dyed. Has been getting too cold here. Because how do you know you're an old man who needs glasses now? No, she does not. Hotty's a mutual friend of ours, chat, and that is what you're referring to, Niz. Not necessarily that. I would say, if anything, I did talk to an eye doctor years ago, and they're just like, yeah, you're starting to get like some eye problems, and that is partly because of the damn jobs that I had worked when I was here in Michigan, first getting in, because I work in the automotive industry on the side, and I work at a computer desk, so my eyes are constantly strained. Making sure that I got this down enough so that I can lightly score the edge there. And there. Sense. And this is where things get tricky. So I need to make sure this is held. I need to mark out the general line of where my stitching is going to be, and that's a little tricky on this. It should be good. Yeah, that's my scratch line. Ain't no going back now. Oh no, I see. Seeing that you do YouTube videos and that your eyes are probably shot as well. Whether it's staring at a computer screen for a job or staring at it for YouTube, either way, it tends to mess you up a little bit. Did not go all the way through. And that I actually think worked out perfect.
since I know I'm not needing to deal with that, I can actually trim the excess off. And I'll look at the chat in just a second. Work on a laptop at work, but since I'm in a plant, I try to go to the floor every hour or so and at least stand up and walk around the office every half hour in between. Yeah, you need to be able to get up and give yourself a little bit of breathing room. Let me see. I got a friend who's gonna be visiting me possibly during or right after the stream. We're definitely hanging out afterward, but she was just touching base with me real quick. And if anyone has questions throughout this process, by all means, leave a comment in the chat. I'm happy to talk about it. I've been doing this for years, but I had to take a break for a while. Because the pandemic ended up fucking up a lot of shit for everyone. I'm just trying to figure something out real quick. How I can need and want. Ooh, totally forgot about that. Oh, that was not. That might work out. It might work out as well as I hope. Getting this stuff out of the way. This might have worked out freaking brilliantly for what I want to do. Because I could just use... Sorry. I could just use this to hold this in place and do the stitching. Or at least this will be able to get me a start. Son of a bitch, that was perfect. Everything lined up freaking excellent. I did say that I'd do that, but I have to do that after all of that. Damn. This is just going to be tricky because the original plan that I thought I'd be able to do might not fully work. Because they want to go ahead and they want to do white stitching on all this to have a nice contrast from the dark green to the stitching. Which is fantastic. I have zero issues with that. But God, it'd be a pain in the ass, but my hand might be forced. I might have to stitch all of this in black initially, dye it into the proper color, because I want it to dye and quote-unquote harden in the proper form, and then I might have to go through and I might have to restitch it. I hate that might have to be the case, but gotta do what I gotta do. Is that a 4? Is that a 6? It's a 6. Because 6 was a single strike. And it's 6 along the upside too. I'm gonna have to stitch this once, pop the stitching, then stitch it again. That said, I'm probably just gonna like whip stitch this just so it's fast enough and quote unquote close enough so that it will stay in position for the dye process. So this will just have to be like a quick stitch. But I'm super glad to hear that the audio quality is actually really good for you guys. Also, curiosity, Icy, assuming that you're still in here, how did you end up hearing and finding out about me? Was it just through a general YouTube search? Was it through, was it through a website? I'm genuinely curious. Come on, there we go. Yep. I needed to be able to see where the stitching is on all this. Okay. Getting this punk started is going to be a bit tricky. So glad that I ended up. Come on, there we go. Let me bring you guys closer to my level. I'll try to angle it in a way so you guys can see a bit better too. Oh, looks like I might have done the trick. There we go. That's a lot. That works for what I need it to do. Nice. Thanks for the heads up, Nisbet. That pretty much just confirmed what the cause was. It was because I had a VPN running before. I took the VPN off, and so far, that seems to be the root cause as to what's been causing my stream issues. So I know now for the future, and as much as it was stupid and dumb that is the case, we got it resolved, got it figured out. I do appreciate the feedback because I know you've been here through a lot of that. keep wanting to bring the project closer to myself so I could be a bit, like, I guess, like, quicker and faster about it. But I need to constantly keep you guys in mind. If I recall correctly, Niz, you don't have a staff meeting for the content either. Okay. This. That whip is done. Sorry, I need this closer to me for a couple of seconds. I need to move that up. Son of a bitch, I might need to. This has become a very fascinating side project. What I thought was going to work is not going to work. Oh hey, got a new one. Morning, Sigma. How are you? Coming from Dan D. Him 88, if I'm able to see that correctly from this far out. I'm doing fantastic. How are you doing this morning? And happy to have another first-time follower over on the chat. Out of curiosity, how'd you end up finding me? Because I've had some people follow me over from my YouTube channel. Migrating over here because it's easier to interact with you guys, as well as actually I'm gonna have to punch that. That's gonna be way better. Others have just found me kind of like at random, finding me through just various Twitch means. You know, like they'll do a search or they'll say like, "Oh, hey, I saw you popped up on my feed," or something like that. Well, the sun said good morning. Whether or not you actually accept the sun's sacrifice of sunlight onto your eyeballs, that's a whole different conversation. Because I don't always appreciate the sun's existence because it causes me blindness in the morning. Alright. Dang it. I need to pre-punch that. I don't think I did. Come on, there we go. Looking through Makers and Crafters. Well, hello, and thank you for finding me and popping in and taking a peek at what I'm doing. Actually, because I still can't find it, let me do this too. 2 seconds. That would be this one. There we go. And normally I have an overview camera, but one of the things that I do, because I'm also coming over from YouTube, is I typically don't show my face because I do conventions as well, various costuming ones, and I don't show my face in any of those in any of my previous content or videos. Part of the reason why is because if I want to, like kind of roam around and enjoy the con myself, I can. And I want people to kind of fall in love with the costume, not necessarily like the person who's operating the costume, if that makes sense. So as a result, I keep my face hidden, or at least somewhat obscured. So what I do on my YouTube channel is I go ahead and I usually don't have a face cam, but for this, obviously, I'm not going to not do that. So instead, what I do is that so that people can actually see, the whole workspace that I have. I normally have a overview cam where I can actually go ahead and they can see like everything that I'm doing and everything I'm working on. Problem with that is that I can't find the mask that I normally would be wearing. It's just like a half mask type of thing. But I can't find that, so that's not happening. So no overview cam right now, unless magic happens and I like somehow magically remember where the hell everything is. It doesn't look like that's going to be happening this time around. But all I'm doing here, just to catch you up real fast, just because I am focusing on the stitching real quick, is I'm pre-stitching very loosely this leather item, and the reason being is because for the dyeing process, I want and need to make sure that it dyes and hardens. I need to make sure that it dyes and hardens to the shape of the casing that I'm going to be using. Problem is, sorry, I'm just thinking for a hot second. Problem is that the person wants to use a white stitch to contrast with the forest green that we've got going here. So if I actually were to stitch this like in a final format, that's gonna actually get dyed the green from the leather dye, and that's not gonna work out. So I needed to find and come up with a workaround. So what I'm doing is I'm doing a loose stitch here, so that there it is. I'm doing a loose stitch just using brown, essentially as a sacrifice, so that I can go ahead and then I'd be able to dye it. But I need to loosely stitch this together, and that's why I'm doing this all in like a whip stitch. I'm not too worried about it right now, at least not in the capacity of being final. And the way I'm doing this is not what I normally would be doing, so it is being very tricky and difficult in this format. Sorry, I need that little bit of lighting. I did see briefly that you had made a comment, Niz. I will see that in a second. Get this last stitch hole in place. Good. I'm sitting here, I'm just like, I know I'm in the area. Square peg, round hole, make it happen. For those of us that know Sigma well enough, we love poking at them to keep their ego in check. Listen here, little shit. I appreciate it.
Very much the kind of guy that sleeps when it's dark out and awake when it's daylight. Which will be getting dark at 4:30 p.m. makes things difficult.
Yep. Makes things really difficult. Are you over in Michigan then, based on that comment? At least that's where my brain goes to, because that's where I live. Nobody likes dealing with the Michigan BS.
I'm not going to use that. I'm going to use...
Grabbing something off cam real quick. Almost the correct size, but quite frankly, it's okay that it is slightly smaller. That should be okay for what I'm trying to do. That's not going to work out as well as I'd hoped or wanted it to.
Ms. Seasig, you know me well enough to know exactly how to respond. Congrats, you are a trained wolf.
Well, fuck you. And hell, for all I know, that was just confirming exactly what you just stated there. Can't win with you. Or at least can't win often with you. That's going to be in there, and that. I was about to make a comment of like, I don't know if I pre-punched those, and I did. I was just being an idiot. And holy shit, I have 6 viewers. Thank you all so much for being a part of this. Jeez. Or at least according to my phone it says 6 viewers. If it is, I will be extremely shocked and happy all at the same time. And thank you all so much for the support. Holy crap. Very tricky project I ended up taking on for this friend. It's a co-worker of mine. He was kind of the first project that I was doing. And the idea and spirit behind what I wanted to do for him was there. Execution, well, we'll find out. And we'll also see what his reaction is like, too.
Come on. There it is. Sitting here trying to find the hole. It wasn't. No, you can't win very often with me. I'm like Luna Lovegood sometimes. Sometimes logic flees from me in fear.
I would laugh at the reference, outside of the fact that I just know it's Harry Potter. But the more nuanced reference that you're making, I'm assuming is from the book, something that I have not done. I have not read the series. Come on. Trying to find the... There we go. I'm glad that I'm still getting some consistent viewership from you guys. What I do hope eventually is to navigate my happy ass over to Twitch, mainly because I'll be able to interact with you guys. Like, you guys can, like, I think they call them bits, or like use bits or use like the channel points, and you guys will be able to like send messages or like send like the automated messages to me. And I also understand that there's probably going to be a couple instances in me doing this that I'll have like a lull in the crafting, you know, like, oh, I don't have any projects this week or something like that. You know, it could be anything from come on. It could be anything from like, okay, you know, I'm in a dead spot in the leather crafting because, you know, it's the holidays, just wild example. I'm just gonna loosely stitch this. Or it could be yeah, if any of you guys are still in the chat, can you please do me a favor and just chime in and tell me if it's still running or not? Because it completely took a dump on me. OBS crashed. That's what happened. You know, I was stitching, I looked up, and suddenly OBS was just gone. So I'm... Okay, cool. Thank you guys. Saw Niz and Icy pop in there. I have no idea what that was. Not a damn idea. But I'm glad that we are all still alive and operational. I'm also super glad that my Twitch stream is not glitching out every other second like it was before. Yeah, the last stream, or actually the last several streams, it was just causing so many problems. Stream would bump in and out. I'd be dropped to like 500 kilobits a second to 0, then back up to 5. Like I was all over the place. Not that I supported the fact that my stream was everywhere, but it still sucked. And so far, this whip stitching idea is working. I will take the win where I can get it. Well, I didn't miss much of anything. Tried to say hi, my verification didn't go through, so I was fixing that. Well, Griff, I am super happy that you're here. Correct me if I am wrong, but you are the, if I remember correctly, you are the owner of the axe sheath that I'm doing for you, correct? Because if that is the case, yep, that's you. Excellent. Griff, here's what we'll do then. I gotta go, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna finish this whip stitching on here because I need to give this structure so that I can then dye it and get it to start to harden in the proper shape. But since you are here, what I will do is, once this is done, I got this dyed and shaped up. I have your axe sheath just out of camera view right now, and I will go ahead and I'll show you where it's currently at, and then I'll also show you all the different dyes that I got too, and then you can make a decision as to which dye you would like to use for the color of your replacement axe sheath. And now, as I'm thinking of it, I may or may not need to step away from the stream for about 2 seconds because, come on. because I'll do that. My leather color swatch kit is sitting in my car, obviously in a different room. So I would just need to dip out real quick to snag that, and then I could go ahead. I could show you all the colors, and you can make a decision, and we'll dye it on stream here. I just want to get this. Come on. So I'm working like half blind. Oh, is it because that? That might be my answer. That was my answer. Come on, where is it? I stabbed a hole. Bear with me for a second, guys. I need to find this. There it is. I'm just trying to focus on the stitching real quick, so if there's any comments that have been made in the chat, I have not seen it and I am sorry. Come on. Trying to... There we go. That's what I was trying to do. So this is the shape I'm going to be using for... this. And... out. So you can see this. Be able to sync this. Just try to move the letter up. So I could actually probably take that. That might have to be my... Okay. Just had breakfast, probably going to paint while I watch. Tell you what came through my mind later after stream when you said stab the hole. Well, fuck it. You could say it here, Niz. Come on. So if I keep that... Bear with me while I do a little bit of mental gymnastics on this, everyone.
give the leather a little bit more means to curve and move around. Yep, that works. That should work. So that's set there. Excellent. Cool. We're gonna go and we're gonna get this bad boy dyed. Up and out a little bit. Whoops. That's a lot better. Move all that stuff out of the way. That out of the way. Thread. Set this. This way. What's the setting for that? Is okay. So you guys are talking. That'd make for an interesting porn title. Oh Jesus! Stab the hole. Alternate porn titles. Thank you guys. Way to quickly derail my chat into something NSFW really fast. I can always count on you for that, Niz. Alright. Pretty solid with where I'm at there. Got that set. I did offer to wait until after stream. You did! But the engagement and conversation with you guys is way more entertaining, so I'll take my wins and losses, you know, where I can, I guess. Sorry, I just got my eyes kind of focused on this real quick, everyone. So if you're saying things to me in chat, this is a perfect example of why I can't wait to eventually reach affiliate status, so that you guys can have channel points to scream at me by claiming audio, like audio sound redemptions. That's set. Now, this. And I'm going very heavy on the dye on this because the guy wants this super green. The audio cues are working. Dan, thank you so much for following the channel. I greatly appreciate that. Thank you. Oh, God. I've looked up at the chat and I see that Griffin and Niz are having a wonderful conversation of what my pseudo-porn is going to be regarding me and leatherworking, apparently, of Stab the Hole. The stabbening. I don't fucking know. Damn it. Well, I did sign up for this, being on Twitch now, so I guess I'll have to learn and live with it. Might have to get one of the heavier daubers to do the next coat. Yep, that's what I'm doing. It's got a set there. Oh, I have to get up. Give me a second. And actually, while I'm at it, what I'm also going to do is, while I'm up and about, I got my headset off. What I'm going to go and do is I'm going to go to my car real quick, and I'll grab the dye swatches that I got, so I could go ahead and show you guys, or show Griff the swatch kit. So give me 1 second, I'll be right back. And I do a sit. You know better than to encourage me, Sigma. I mean, maybe? Apparently not. If I ever get around to getting a costume, I definitely know what color I'd want. The kind of armor would wind up doing. That green is beautiful. Well, I'm so glad that you're liking the dye and how it's coming out. Yup, a nice fat dauber of dye here. I need to actually, should probably wring that out a little bit. Anyone that might have joined, or just to refresh people, this is how deep, dark green that they want it. They want it this green, which is fine. I'm never going to knock someone for knowing what they want. It's just like borderline coming up black on the stream. It's just kind of funny to me. Alright. Of this along the back here. And I might have to finish this off stream because usually dye takes about 2 hours to fully set, but not necessarily saying this in a bad way, but I do not plan on working on this on the next stream. So we'll have entirely new and different projects next stream. My fingers totally just touched the segment of leather underneath that had dye because I totally forgot it existed down there.
need to let this set. So I'm going to take this. Finger touches the die again. Like clockwork. Alright. Bear with me a second as I try not to cause myself to make a mess and spill dye everywhere. That is going to go right there. Freaking perfect. Okay. That's on there. That's out of the way. I'm going to set those aside, clear off a little bit more space on the table. And Griff, you are up. Going to be showing off, figuring out what color dyes you want. So, grab the axe head from over here. Here's the sheath in question that you gave me. This is where we're at right now. I'm going to do some stitching of it, probably on stream here. But these are actually going to be stitched over on each other. The stitching will end up being stronger. This is going to be stitched over as well, so you see how it's a near copycat of the original one that we had before. And I'm going ahead and I'm doing accent stitching all along the bottom here, even though it will be open. Doing accent stitching up until here, even from here on, that'll still be actual functional stitching. There's actually a reinforcement panel actually in between here. So you see that there's 3 layers in there, so the blade will never be touching the actual thread itself. That accent stitching is also going all up on the outside as well. And all I would need to know, and I'll be throwing the snaps in up here on this, but I want to do that after I do all the stitching and we figure that stuff out, because I need to make sure that this, when it folds over, it'll sit right with the axe and everything. So the question in regards to the die for you, I'm gonna move this out of the way. Die colors. Here's what we got. Shift that over. I'm gonna bring this a bit closer. I'm gonna hope that this all kind of comes through pretty well for you guys. Oh, I'm gonna go up a bit more. There we go. Now I want to make sure that you got a solid. Sweet. You got a solid view of everything. So, for our dies, what I'll do is I'll unlink this real quick. And it's not a huge issue for me to relink those. Not worried about it at all. So, here's all the dies that I got. Now, first question that I got for you, and this will help narrow things down fairly quickly for us, is I'm going to break these into these 2. That'll be the first thing that'll help me out really quick. Now that these have been broken up, you can kind of see the different colors. First question I got to you, if you happen to know off the top of your head what type of color that you want to do. Are you looking more along the brown spectrum? Are you thinking more closer along, like, something that's got more color to it? I can hang around in the chat here for a second and give you an opportunity to look everything over. I'll move the camera closer too so that you can see it as well. But Griff, this is... So you're liking the original brown on there. The axe handle is red. That is what you were saying. So I'm just going to shift this up a bit. This being the original brown, or close to the original brown that was on there. Give you an opportunity to look things over. I do like the one, I do like the second from the right. So you're looking, if I'm getting it right, are we talking that one? Or are we talking that one? Just because I did have them in the two separate groups. Yes, the first. And the middle left of the green. Middle left of the green. So it looks to be that one, based on that comment, if I'm getting that all correctly. So that was these two, if I'm getting that right. Because the other middle left of the green that you could have been talking about was this one. Okay, so yeah, so you were thinking of this one then. And I just gotta wait a second for you obviously to see the video and for the chat to update and me to see it back. Put those up against the old one. Yeah. Give me a second. That's what I'll do. So I'll probably need 2 hands to do this. And I want to make sure that the camera holds steady. There we go. And it's funny enough that of the ones that you picked, the one that's on the right here that you called out, it's actually a water stain, and they call it out as an orange, but like how it dries out, you know, it quote unquote is orange, but it looks like a orangish brown. And the one here is probably actually one of my favorites. That's actually a mahogany. And if you want a closer look of the camera over to the project itself, let me know. I can 100% bring it closer for you. Because this one here actually is very close. This one here is very close to the original. But that was at least over in that particular swatch. And I'm not trying to sway you in your decision or anything like that. I'm just trying to... I was just pointing that out since I noticed it. The mahogany looks good, but I like the orange. I can... You choose the orange! Alright. Let me go ahead and slap that back in there. So that is the orange water stain. Alright. Get those out of the way. So you'll also be happy to see that this being the... don't catch the audio. This being the original casing there. I did do that stitch reinforcement that we were talking about on the edge there, so that's not completely falling apart. The stitching on this is actually so dried out and brittle that like when I was taking the old original stitching out so that I could go ahead and restitch it, it actually was just falling apart. Like it actually wasn't like all one cohesive strand anymore. It was that brittle. I just had to be extremely careful. But went ahead and I got that segment restitched up so it's, you know, in a little bit of a better condition. I did do a lot of conditioner on here as well. You can still see some of the remnants of that conditioner still being on there, letting it kind of absorb into the leather. But I could actually flex this a little bit and not have to worry about it freaking falling apart. So we're definitely in a better position than what it was before. This is something that you can 100% give back over to your grandfather as a memento if you would like. I know we had also originally talked about like doing stitch reinforcements in some of the cracks like we had here. With how brittle this thing is even after doing the conditioning, I honestly don't feel comfortable doing that it actually could probably still cause further damage. I would rather leave it just kind of as it is. If you want to continue to kind of like rejuvenate this and give it still some life, you would need to get some leather conditioner and to continue working this like every third day for a while to keep putting hydration back into this thing. But this is actually doing pretty good. I don't have to worry about like if I drop it like that far that it just kind of like crumbles and falls apart, because one of the other streams, you know, I did that. Like you could hear how dry it was and like how ready it was to just like fall apart and just be like Thanos. You know, snap my fingers and this will turn to dust. So got that set. First thing that I want to do is I want to go ahead. Yeah, of course. Happy to help you out with that. First thing I want to do real quick is I'm going to bring this out a little bit. And bring that out a lot more. There we go. What I'm going to do first is since I got these stitching holes here, I want to stitch this all up into place first, and to also do that on this. So what I need to do real quick, I want to do that so that it holds form. I need to mark the holes. They're going to be on this back side here. Now that that's done, I can go ahead and yep. Excellent. Yeah, grab that. Jeez. Nisbet, you're starting to sound like me. I haven't eaten breakfast either. Yeah, that's That's a good starting point, Griff. Let's not leave even if you were to leave it in the garage for that long. Take care of it. And also, if I remember correctly, we had talked about it, about putting either, like, I think it was your name or your initials in there. It was the G Barrack that was like on the other one, correct? If it's something else, DM me. Or if you're worried about, information, being out like in the public or whatever, if it's something like that, let me know, and I will happily make the stamping, and I'll go ahead and I'll put it in the same area as the original one. Yes, I will 100% do that. It is not a problem at all. Alright. Let's get this stitch on the road. 7 viewers in the stream. Hello, all 7 of you. Thank you so much for sticking around and checking this out. I'm so glad that the stream's actually holding up. It's frustrating that the root cause of it was my VPN, but it makes sense. It doesn't change how annoying it is. Actually, one other question, Griff, since you're still in the chat. For the stitching itself, do you want me to do black stitching on it with that orange? Or do you want me to do brown? I'll go ahead and I'll give it a minute or two so you can chime in. Homie's going brown. And thank you for being so responsive in chat, so I can stay on top of doing all this for you. Once I get this all stitched, the other project that I had listed for the stream itself, it was a Viking axe handle wrap. That was one that I actually ended up doing. I was planning on doing it today, but I ended up doing it yesterday. So that will actually be a little bit of a show and tell on the handle wrap. But there is something else that I am doing for that person as well, kind of like as like a bonus. He doesn't know that I'm doing it. The gentleman has a very strong Irish background that he is extremely proud about. Like even cracking a joke about him being Scottish actually drives him up the wall. So what I'm doing is I don't think he has one. So I'm doing it for him as kind of like a favor and a thank you, because he's actually another person that I work alongside with at my job. But I'm making an axe blade sheath for him. His is not going to be a full encompassing one like yours is, Griff, but it is going to be a full blade. It is going to be a much smaller axe blade as well, so it's not going to take really any time. And I did a little bit of research and found out kind of like different styles, and I wanted to pay like proper homage or proper homage to that Irish heritage that he has, so that he can kind of so that it would still kind of represent that background and kind of fit for the aesthetic of what would be, a sheet or a blade guard. Gotta bring this up a whole ton. This is why I'm so happy that I went ahead and spent like the $10 and get these C-clamps. So I bought these C-clamps so that I could do exactly this. So I can have my stitching horse not between my legs like it normally would. Because how it's done normally is the two panels that I'm currently clamping down right now, those that actually go underneath my thighs. This sits like right at about chest level, and then I can go ahead and do stitching. Well, for this, I got it right at the edge of the table, and I could actually show you guys the close-up work as a result. So, bingo. Then, all I gotta do is figure out, whoops, there's nothing quite like smacking the cam. Just figure out what will be a good, that'll actually be a good position for the project that I can stitch it, and then I'll readjust the camera. There we go. Yeah, this is going to be tricky initially because it's not edge to edge stitching. But after a couple holes of stitching, we've made some decent progress on this thing. I realized I haven't in a second, so I'll look at the chat in just a moment. No changes. All is good. Now I got 8 viewers. Thank you all so much for sticking around and checking me out. If you're someone who is new to the stream or first-time chatter, if you want to put a comment in the chat real quick, I would love to hear your feedback in terms of how you found me, whether you are migrating over from my YouTube or if you are migrating, or not migrating, or if you ended up finding me on Twitch and how you found me on Twitch. Was it through a search? What type of search? I would love to know. Genuinely. Like, I didn't even have this back when I was over doing YouTube stuff. You know, I had to do a fair amount of promotion on my YouTube, doing posts and cross posts and everything just to get to where I was at over there. I had 420 or a little over 400 subscribers on there, and then the pandemic hit and absolutely fucked everything, so I couldn't have the time, energy, or funds to do anything that I wanted to do over there, so it had to go on, just had to go silent for a while. And now here I am doing it again, moving over onto Twitch, because I like interacting with people. Actually, as an additional side note, while I'm still struggle busing on this one bloody thread, what in God's name? Okay, apparently I'm struggle busing on this. There we go. God, the backside was giving me a problem. Totally lost my train of thought. We'll move on from that. Stick it in the hole. I'm trying. Sometimes the hole is hard to find. I swear to God, someone's probably gonna clip that, but fuck it. I'm gonna try it. And guess what's inside it?
feel like I'm sitting in my head. The only thing that I'm missing in this stream is just me going like, knit 1, purl 2, knit 1, purl 2. Actually, Griff, here's a wild question that I might have for you, if you are able to chime in on this. I think you'd be okay not doing this, but I wanted to offer it since it crossed my mind. If you want me to do a little bit of a wet mold of the leather sheath to the axe. If not, I'm not too worried about it. Otherwise, I'm probably just going to have to make some sort of form so that the axe sheath will maintain some semi-open shape once it's been dyed. Yep. So if you want me to do some wet molding on this, we would need to catch up so I could get the axe. If you want me to do similar wet molding, like I did for that flashlight case, and there's a different type of wet molding that I can do as well, which is more closer to an actual like identical form, meant to be extremely form-fitting and very tight. I don't think that would actually be a good idea for me to do that type of wet forming, but I think if you were wanting to do a little bit of wet forming, just so that it can maintain a general axe shape on here, that would maintain, that would be a bit open, that is totally okay, and I would not need the axe. Otherwise, in this stream, this whole thing's gonna get done. Because the amount of stitching that I'm doing right here is not terrible. And I should be able to bang out the stitching without a problem in this stream. And also, I have another question for you. This is going to be this is not going to cost you anything additional. Again, it's just something that's coming to mind because I want to make sure that when this gets done, it's done once and set, and you don't really ever have to worry about strength and integrity of this thing again, or ever. But on the back side of this axe sheath, the segment that I just stitched, it's just stitching. That's fine. It'll hold up. But what I wanted to offer as a additional thing, as I try to not slice myself, is putting a single rivet right through the dead center of this, just as additional reinforcement. That's it. Sounds good to me. Cool. And if you're still in the chat, I'm going to need to steal you for one more thing. I've got 3 different colors. I could do just an outright chrome. I've got like a bronze, like antique copper bronze color. And then I've got like a gunmetal. Knowing the type of dye that you want, I can actually have pretty much an identical, or I could actually match it up to the dye that we talked about. It's gonna be a second. There we go. So, let me pull that water stain out again. So that's the water stain that we were talking about. And so that's the antique Bronze and copper I was telling you about. Hopefully it'll focus. I'll do that, try to make it focus a little bit easier. Hey, that did the trick. So here's that antique bronze I was telling you about. Then I got good old-fashioned silverish chrome. Trying to get it to focus and there we go. And then outside of silver, I've got like a gunmetal here, like a dull gray. So of those three, which one were you possibly thinking? Bronze, copper. Gotcha. Thank you for chiming in. That was quick. Okay, that's got to go back in there. That is going back in there. Pop. And what I can do as well is that I'll do 2 on the back side here as well. So you got 1 on the bottom small square, and then 2 up here, as well as the stitching itself. I forget, do you have a Discord for the stream? I do not. I've been floating a couple of ideas in my head of things that I can or want to do in regards to the Twitch stream. Like if I want to do like occasional like bonus stream things, you know, like if I did just a Discord, having people, you know, say if it ever got to that point of like someone subscribing, or getting to that point, where what I could do is just constantly blinking out like I am right now. Jesus. Of like subscribers, you know, get access to, you know, to those bonus streams when they occur, you know, or being able to, you know, chime in and doing like the gaming, do some gaming with me on those gaming type streams. It's just stuff that's that I floated across in my head, but nothing solid yet. There we go. Oh, that's working out beautifully. If I recall correctly, yeah, hear that one. I have to have the axe head leaning off on the one side there. Oh yeah. Come on. There we go. That's 1 copper set down. Alright. I think which one do I have for that? I have the 4. Yep, it's 4 mil, 4 mil, 4 mil. And that is 4 mil as well. to keep my train of thought on this. And we'll get that set too. Very nice. Oh, making beautiful progress on this. Fantastic. And that's... Yeah, that's not going to help out as well as I'd hoped. But I'll live. Alright. Stitching, and almost got this all generally prepped up. I will readjust the camera in just a second. I just want some of my dirty bean juice. Ooh, and actually, I really hope that this works. Give me a second. Aw, man, it didn't work. Oh. Needles. Yeah. Stitching on this is going to be a little tricky. Just this segment, though. That positioning is not going to work out as well as I thought. Because I need more working space for being able to get my hands in there and everything. Because this would otherwise be a massive pain. jeez, come on. Alright. Yeah, because once this starts to close up, things will get a bit more tricky. What type of games? Well, right now I've just been binge playing Rainbow Six Siege a lot. It's just apparently the game itself just strikes a ADHD chord with me. Not that I'm particularly complaining, but quick decision making, I can get in on a round or two and when the round, or when I die or whatever, the rounds don't take forever to burn through. You know, I could get back into the game pretty quick. Stick it in the hole! What's terrible is that there's a good chunk of the people that are in the chat that know me personally, and now every time that I see them, I'm just expecting that to be like an in-joke now. Just because you all suck sometimes. Come on. There we go. Ah! Son of a bitch. Damn it. I almost messed up that stitching. Haven't played any new games in forever. Shifted to tabletop games about 6 years ago. Hang on. I went ahead and I had to go through in the auto mod, Niz, and let your comment through. There's nothing wrong with tabletop games, actually. I was actually playing games with some friends in the past, and we were playing a game called Red Flags. It's essentially Cards Against Humanity, but dating. However, your cards are known that they are yours. The premise is essentially you're trying to hook up the person who's making the decision. They're essentially pretending to be single, and the people who are playing cards to you, based off the cards that they had in their hand, they play 2 perk cards, and they're just this person's super attractive, they know all your sweet spots, and they know your favorite foods, they know how to cook them, that type of thing. Everyone goes around and plays their 2 perk cards, but then it does another round at the table, and the person plays a red flag card to the person on their left, and essentially is saying okay, well, this person that they're giving you, they might be super attractive and know your favorite foods, but they're 6 years old, just that type of thing where it's literally a red flag, and you have to then make the decision, once all those cards have been played, as to whether you would date this theoretical person. starting to get into a rhythm with the stitching on this thing because it's such a wonky. This is such a wonky cavity to try to stitch that trying to give myself the room necessary to actually stitch is a little tricky. But I think I have a workaround. Bear with me. Hey! My friend has arrived. So I didn't forget about you.
I didn't think you did. I wasn't sure if I was allowed to come in.
No. Yeah, you're fine. Because Isla's been on stream before too. You know, she'll shoot the shit with me, you know, make conversation in the chat too, and give us additional topics to talk about. You know, you get someone else to bounce conversations off of. So I've got this done, or working on this. This will essentially be done today, which is fucking excellent. And actually, the person who's getting this is in the chat right now. And they ended up making the decision of what color that they want to do. They're doing the orange water stain that I've got on there. This is actually a replacement for the axe. The axe head that's actually right over there on the table by the keyboard. And I'm also going to be stamping their name into this too. So that's going to be another process that I end up doing. And time is 11 o'clock. I think a decent time. That said, Griff, letting you know this right now, because I had forgotten until I literally just mentioned it right there. What I am going to have to do is I'm going to have to, once I do I have to do the stamping first before I do the staining. But once the stamping is done, that has to sit and wait long enough that the stream will have to end for that to dry before I actually dye and water stain this. So this will actually be done. This will likely be done today, but it'll be done today off stream. But I'm giving you the heads up of that. Because I can't do the dye and then stamp it. The stamping has to be done before any dyeing. Just giving you the heads up on that. And then in case you're confused, the audio that I have is the chill music that I have going on in the background, so I can actually hear what's going on, and then audio prompts sometimes come through too, so I can actually hear them. What's funny is just this would really not be too different than what I would be doing normally, doing leather crafting. You know, having music on, chilling. Ow, damn. I'm surprised I'm awake as I am, because I was up until about 2 o'clock last night.
Why?
I went ahead and I had a couple of friends over. And by the time that, that we all like disbanded or whatever, by the time that we disbanded, it was like midnight. We went ahead and did up some basic cleaning, and then I had to go ahead and I had to do my normal night routine, which that takes time. That's a process. Oh god, that was my fucking kneecap again. So I need to add an additional punch hole on this because I did not throw it in here. There we go. Yeah, this goes to about 12:30. And depending on how things go, I might end this a hair sooner. But that's really all it is I just gotta see how it pans out. Because right now the only projects that I got are this, the blade guard on the Irish axe that my coworker gave me, and the flashlight, which the flashlight I have to Thank you. Discord crashed and it muted the mic too.
Mm-hmm.
Beans. Niz. Asshole. That's what happens when I let friends in the stream. Sigma beans. Jesus. Nothing quite like someone you know harassing you in a stream. And one of the things that's bothering me too is just like I can't find where I put my mask. There's a mask that a half mask that I'm usually wearing. So I could do the overview cam because I usually don't show my face on stream for when I'm doing cons and stuff. No idea where that thing disappeared to. It's driving me insane because I love the mask. And it's gonna be something where it's like once the stream ends, it's just be like, oh, it's right here. Damn it! Did you know that's how finding important things work? Yeah. Listen here. Listen, Niz, you little shit. Alright. Stitching on that back end is done. Adjusting the camera so you guys can see a bit better. Because I gotta go ahead and tie this off now. You know what also just crossed my head? Probably a good idea if I took my medications too.
Yeah, that's kind of important.
Just a smidge. Just a thought. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are on medications, be sure to take them. They tend to be very helpful in life. There we go. Yeah, the mask thing is going to drive me fucking insane. Alright, I want to get those in real quick. Get the 2 rivets. Yep. Go there. It is a very delicate balance. Everything has to be perfectly balanced, as all things should be. Thanos shitposting.
I understood that reference.
You're actually able to understand the references now. Because you only recently saw that, didn't you?
No, I saw
was that? 2008, I think.
No.
Huh?
No.
I want to say we've had this conversation before, and now I'm feeling terrible that I can't freaking remember it. Feeling terrible and feeling old that I can't remember it. No, you're right. Definitely not that.
Yeah. What are you talking about?
2012. Is it in the doom box? Listen, Griff, I don't need to be called out that hard. Because that definitely is a struggle of those with ADHD. We're gonna Bear Grylls this bitch. Bear with me. Ah! Yeah, that's it. I'm sitting here trying to do this on the plastic, and I'm just like, damn it. I wonder if I could go ahead and use this on the wood, and sure as shit, I was able to. And now I got to, as my chat is now getting into the habit of saying, is stick it in the hole. Helping another friend organize, and we made lots of them. Slightly less chaos makes the world difference. Then the last month, we've lost like 3 things we thought we knew where they were. Yep, sounds about right. The ADHD struggle is real. And actually, after this, when this is all done, do you want to go for noms? Yes. Do you want me to make food? Because I have eggs and bacon here, or do we want to go out?
Either.
Alright. At least you found the hole this time. Oh, god damn it. Damn it, Griff. Gonna have to... Okay, that's not wanting to come out. There we go. There we go. Adjust this. Is it actually quite entertaining for you to watch me do this?
Yeah.
Just somewhat baffled, I guess. Granted, I do get feedback from... I can get feedback from you in terms of, like... You know, in the scope of actually, like, seeing you, like, look at it and
being intrigued is a good positive input. Because I'm not having to sit here and be like, are people actually like utilizing and like interested in that camera? Where if I were to have the overview camera, if it wasn't for the fact I'm missing the mask, no. They could also see the work that I'm doing up close. Fucking beautiful. Majestic. How do I want to do that? Yeah. Still gonna need the stitching horse. Dirty bean juice. It is cold bean juice, but that is okay.
Still dirty.
Still dirty bean juice. I'm going to do 2 small segments. I'm going to have to... Nope, I actually got plenty of room there if I don't need to do that. You know what, Niz? I'm not even mad. Because that is all too correct. It's important to have the right snack while watching and teasing your friends who stream. All too accurate. But also, those same friends need to understand and respect the threshold and boundaries that might need to be set. If they push their luck too far, Niz. What did I do this time? You existed. What do you mean, what did you do this time? Don't forget to drink your water with that dirty bean juice. Dirty bean juice is water. You can't fight me on that because it is correct. This one's a little trickier to get a view on. That seems to be better. There it is. comment is more because of a Shadowrun session that will be happening later on Twitch. Shalom! Hello, welcome back. This. Yep. Oh, come on. You don't want to stick around? You got other things to do, Shalal? Even if you don't end up popping back in or replying, it was great to see you pop in for a second. Alright. Tie this bad bitch off. You know it's hot? A fucking flame to your fingers. Jesus. God. Ah. Oh, that sucks. Sorry to see you go, Shalal, but I'm glad that you popped in for a second. Don't understand why my brain did not process that risk. My brain's just sitting there, is just like, oh, that's what you need to do. Do it. A solid 7 viewers still. Yay. And I realized the music stopped for some reason. Let. There we go. And this is why I go ahead and keep the headphones on. Once this accent stitching is done, then we'll actually do the structural stitching. And then once the structural stitching is done, we'll go and do some stamping depending on time, because currently we're sitting at 11:20. It's got about another hour. And then when this is done, we'll go ahead and we'll get you guys sent and rated over to my good friend Alkali and Zanny. They are some comedians, and they do some entertainment here over on Twitch. They are some known performers over in the furry community, so I go ahead and pimp them out when I can. Try to support some friends and performers. One of them actually used to have a decent paying job, and then they got let go while they were at a convention. So when that happened, he's just like, you know what, we're just going to go hard. We're going to see if we can make this thing our new income and do our dream. So I am 100% for that and trying to help them in the process. Trying to pimp them out, get them some more viewership, maybe a subscriber or follower or two. So if you stick around to the end, we're going to be rating that channel and showing some love and support for them. So what I'm doing right now real quick, and I just had it off camera so that I could even have the space to do it, I'm just waxing the thread here. And this will make it so that the threading itself will last longer, less prone to damage. If anything were to graze up against it in the ownership of the item. Once this is in, I'm also going to go ahead and have to, there we go. I'm going to adjust the camera and adjust the stitching horse. There we go. And that works. Perfect. Let's see. Whoops! I had blinds there. It would be helpful to not hit those. There we go. Fucking excellent. So when doing leather stitching, one of the things that I was told and taught is not only do you have to bring it all to a center, which I'm obviously off cam for that, you guys can't see, but come on, there we go. Wherever the hole it is that you're starting at, you go one back and then go forward again, and that reinforces that particular meeting point. So for this, I'm starting at this hole, which is what I want, but I want to make sure that the thread and that the stitching in this area stays strong. So I went back one and then forward one, like back stitching if you were doing it on a machine. Thanks for calling it out, Niz. Yes, you can see my phone. Kind of see if we can make it vibrate off the table. Ha! See, now you said something, and there's not enough people in the chat for you to make a comment and for me to miss. And for me to miss it. So you kind of screwed yourself on that one, Niz. And also, the chat doesn't vibrate. It just pops up. So there's no vibrations that would ever hit the phone. Not from the Twitch stream, at least. actually going to tweak the camera real quick. Yeah, I like that better. Actually, when I used to do so much stitching, it just crossed my brain real quick. So we blow up Instagram? No, because the Instagram is probably just as... My Instagram's pretty quiet also. You'd have to blow up my phone on Telegram or my direct number to get anywhere close to that. Well, fuck you too, Niz, okay? Making some really good progress on this thing in terms of stitching. Because only in that little bit of time that via Telegram I would say challenge accepted. Well, I'm glad that you don't have it then. In the little bit of time since I have adjusted this, like, making some really good progress on the stitching. So I'm trying to remember, I need to look at my notes. I want to say that my average stitch time frame, but my stitch benchmark is like it's like a foot an hour, or it's like a foot and a half an hour, depending on the project itself. Like doing something like this, like, yeah, stitch for doing a foot and a half an hour is about par, if I remember correctly. Whoops. Yep. Accidentally skipped the hole. So I'm doubling up on the stitch hole here, and the reason being is because this is the very edge. I want to make sure that this is strong and that it's reinforced. That edge there is going to be nice. It's going to be nice and strong. Just the horse again. Don't catch the thread. There we go. Sorry, Chad, I'm just in a groove right now. And I don't want to mess up that groove. Don't mess with the Emperor's groove. Did you get that reference?
Yeah, I got that reference.
Okay. No. Yes, Griff, thank you. No touchy. No touchy. No touchy. Where are we at? 11:36. Nice. Making great progress. Gonna have to adjust the horse soon. And I actually think I might have done just enough thread. Because I thought I was doing overkill for it, but by damn if I wasn't on point. So actually I'm probably going to be able to do the stamping on this too. Excellent. All right. Stitching is done. Clean up some shrapnel here and debris. And good chunk of this. That's an X sheet ready to roll. So stitching is complete. Go. That can all go over there. That can go over there too. This I'm done with for now. And I'm going to go back in the chat real quick just to make sure I didn't miss it. But I do believe, Griff, you mentioned exactly what you wanted stamped on there. Bear with me for 1 second, because I need to make the chat size bigger for me to be able to see. Assuming I'll be able to bloody G.Barrick. Alright. If you can actually still stay on the chat for a second, got a proposition, or something I gotta ask you, so hang on a second. So the question I got for you is, honestly, probably one of a couple of fonts that I might be able to use depending on how you want it done. So, fonts. I've got several stamp kits that I can do. And let me adjust this real quick. There we go. Make sure all nice and steady. Or at least mostly steady. And needing to give myself enough clearance to work. There we go. So, Griff. A couple of fonts that I have. I have 1, 2, and 3. It's a 1/8, quarter, and 3/8 inch stamps. Now the one that I've got right here is actually super similar to what was on the original one. What I can do, this is why I like holding on to certain scraps. Bear with me for a second. I'm getting a scrap piece of leather that I can use to showcase the font. So, first font I got here is very small, very similar to what the original was. You know, where it actually had G.Barrick on there. It's definitely on the smaller end. So, that's the first one. Very small. It's very similar to the G.Barrick that was originally stamped in there. Similar. I'm hoping that'll actually catch. Yeah, you can kind of see it. It is smaller. So there's that one. The other one I got is also another basic font, much bigger. G. I want to make sure this is nice and wet so that when I go to do the stamp, it takes the impression really well. That's the other font, if it decides to focus. So you got a general idea of size to what the other one was. It's a very basic font. And the other one I got is also very stylized. There's a G. Wow. There's others that I've got, but they're so big I wouldn't be able to do the G barrack. So hopefully it comes through. You can see it's kind of got like that old world type of font. So if you are able to, there's a good focus. So if you're able to get a gauge on that, which one? Option 2? Cool. Thank you for chiming in on that. Now, while I've still got you here in the chat, the other question I got for you is I can go ahead and I can set these aside. Those can go bump off. Now with this, in terms of the sizing, to make sure that I have enough, that there's enough space to actually put everything in there, it's possible I'd be able to fit it all in essentially a line going across like that. Now the other thing that I could do too, if you would like, is I could essentially have it follow the stitch line down here, if that would be something that you would also, if that was something that you preferred. I saw your question is, give me a second. Okay, so thinking straight line, like right across, like right in here. Yep. Cool. So here's what I will do. I'm obviously not going to mark it, but what I'm doing here is I'm trying to set this up essentially pre-plan the spacing, so I know I've got enough space rather than starting to stamp and then go, oh shit, I don't have enough.
That's how I do everything.
Actually, not that one. There's a different ruler that I got that works better for this. There it is. This one's got a better edge. So let's do GBA. What would be RR? C and K. And the dot there, I'm probably going to do is that. So it'll be G. That'll be the dot that I end up using. I'm gonna hope that this focuses. Cool. The last thing that I'm gonna check real quick is that when this is folded over, will there be enough space? Yes, plenty. I did see your comment, Niz. I just needed to focus on this real quick. Don't know, but I'm gonna find out on this. No, you're not gonna be enough. Sent it cuz for whatever insane reason thought you were done. No. I'm not done yet. I still got another about 30-ish minutes. Hope. Ho ho ho! That worked. Fucking excellent. It's a delicate balance. Excellent. Looks fucking excellent. Don't like the fact that it's doing that though. Give me a second. I'm gonna try this instead. I like this idea better. I'm just eyeballing this for a solid second or two, making sure that I got this. Making sure I got this straight, or at least as straight as I can. Yeah, like that's way off right there. So what I've got here, Griff, and this is what I'm lining it up with, making sure that the line is totally okay with you before I do anything. Adjust the camera. So what I've got it lined up with is I have the letters being lined up in a parallel line, at least this is the goal, to a parallel line with the top edge of the axe. Will be right there. If that is okay, let me know, and then I can start. I could start stamping then. That works. All right. I will say this is the glory of using a fucking camera too, because I can look above from my point of view, and then also use the camera as a reference point to make sure that I'm pretty straight. That's looking pretty damn good. Nice. I think I'm good. Way to go right there. Sitting at 12:30? No, 12:30 is what I gotta do. That 12 is what we're currently sitting at right now.
This is my first time.
Fantastic. Okay.
I thought you said I was beautiful.
You are beautiful. Everything's okay.
Yep. Just need to make sure this is solidly moisturized. Moisturize me. I swear to God, if you understand that reference, I'm going to be very impressed. Someone in chat has to. Nope, not quite. That's not the reference I was making. I don't blame you. It makes sense. Okay. G-B-A-R-R-I-C-K. It's approximate. Go right there. Okay. Adjust you guys somewhat out of the way because I need to have a better line of sight. So the trick with letter stamping that I've found out is you leave the letter casing in from the previous stamp, and that's how you make sure that the letters stay upright. But in the case where you got a double letter here, there's a little bit of a workaround. So that is the R. That's where the other is supposed to be. So you just take another letter to take its spot. R. That is C. That is K. Here's the I. Okay, put the camera out of the way. And okay. There you go. Go ahead and I'm going to do a little bit more impressionist on there, but at least that has lettering in there. And I can just slowly and gently work impressions in there without too much risk. Because I don't want to go too deep that you can see the outline of the stamp itself. G's actually doing pretty good. And B. B's nuts. There you go. And there you got the name stamped in there for you. So, now that we got that all hashed out, okay, just setting all the letters over in here. So this has to go ahead and this has to dry. C, B. Now, the one thing that I can do to try to accelerate that, in the grand scheme of things, it's relatively minor, just because of how much time that we have left. I could take a heat gun to it, it'll help accelerate the drying process a hair with what time we got, but at this point, it's just going to have to be a matter of waiting for it to air dry. But since I know what dye color that you're actually wanting to go with, and that we know that it's going to be this water stained orange that I got, when this goes ahead and dries out, I can actually then go ahead. I can go ahead and dye that probably tomorrow, after letting that set for a bit. But that being said, the last thing that, like I could do, the dye on the leather flashlight case still has to set. So that's going to be some time still. But I'm going to be finishing that off stream. Because I don't want to be doing that still, going into next week. The other thing that, like I mentioned, I did do another axe sheath. It was actually for a coworker that I said that I could do probably a little bit of show and tell with that. So, with that, that is what I'm going to do real quick once I clean up some of these other things. Is that set? Got the die right there, and right there. That can go away. This is all set. That is all going to go dry. That can go away too. That needs to air dry. There. So Griff, what will be next stream, this will already be done, so you don't have to worry about that. I'll finish it off stream. And like we talked about, I'm going to be doing the burnishing of the edges on all these surfaces here. I'm going to do 2 snaps on that too. That's right, I do have the Viking axe.
So I got the Viking axe I'm going to do a little bit of show and tell with, but there's also, there it is. So, this is the axe blade itself. This actually had a little bit of rust that was developing on the actual axe blade. Went ahead and did him a favor. I told him about it, that I was going to do it. He was totally cool with it. That I just went ahead, I have a wire brush over on a bench grinder, and I went ahead and I just wire brushed this all off so it's nice and polished. There's no rust on it. But what he wanted it all was just this plain wooden handle here. But we went ahead and we did a raisin colored bison handle wrap on the entirety of the whole thing. Now he doesn't have a guard to this at all. Nothing that I'm aware of, at least. So what I'm gonna do, and I worked on it a little bit. Sorry, scooching some things over. Need to give myself a little bit more room. So what I'm gonna do is I've got this blade guard here that I ended up making. Now, what I'm gonna do so it kind of still pays like proper like respect to like the style of the axe is that I had it follow the curvature and pretty much nearly mimic the blade itself. I'm gonna stitch this up using brown. What I'm gonna dye this at, because he really liked the raisin color of this, what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna dye it that mahogany that you were questioning before. Yeah, this mahogany color, because that's a very close doppelganger to the raisin bison. So I'm gonna dye it that mahogany. But before I do, I also have this Celtic stamping in here, which he mentioned. He's just like, you don't have to do that, but you're the artist. He doesn't know I'm even doing this. What I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna do a top coat on this so that this actually stays lighter than the rest of the leather itself, so it'll make that pop a little bit. And because it'll match the same tone as this, I think it'll be a nice little accent that I'm doing with that. So my top coat is hiding somewhere, if not possibly thrown out. And if it is, I will be sad, but I won't be surprised. Damn it. It's probably buried somewhere. But what I can do in the meantime is, yeah, this dried up nice. This dried up super nice. Yep. I can at least go ahead and I can stitch this, so I'm gonna crack out that stitching horse again. Luckily, since these are two very small pieces, this will go by super quick. And I don't even need a whole ton of tension on that. Actually, before the next stream that I do next week, what I'm gonna have to do is I have to swing by my supplier. I need to get some more black thread, because the black is so common that people select. I just rip through it. That is not good for thread. And it is 12:15, which is actually perfect timing, because I'll be able to finish the stitching on this. And if it's okay with you, when we go to do the food thing, we can swing by my supplier. I can grab the top coat so I can go ahead and I can finish this. I can go ahead and I can finish this, and then we can go eat.
Sounds good to me.
And you'll be able to see who my supplier is. I fucking love that. I love walking into the store. Makes me so happy.
Hey, fuck off, Niz. That's how. Let me have my weird ass statements and mannerisms and shit, alright? Calling it a food thing. It's because, quite frankly, food thing could be any different types of food. It could be appetizer food. It could be breakfast food. I need this standard. Good. We're doing the stitching for that segment. There we go. I saw your comment. Also, did you ever answer my question? I was away washing rice. Sigma beans, yes. Anyways, your question, whatever it was, Niz. I don't remember what the question was. I think I answered it, and yes, you were probably away.
You didn't.
What was it?
I think it was if you ever thought of getting a maker stamp.
Oh shit. I made one at one point by kind of like combining some of the stamps that were already available. I can't say that I don't know if I would continue to use that stamp combination. Not for like any negative particular reason, more so that it was based off of like the business attempt that I tried and it fell through. So, kind of meh. I'm not too worried about having a maker stamp. No, because quite frankly, this is more of a hobby than an actual business attempt. I'm just needing to make sure that this is properly reinforced on the edge here. Do an extra loop stitch. Actually, I do know what I'm going to do with this. Thought I was going to do one thing to finish it off. It was an accidental lie to myself. Yes, how dare I lie to myself. The camera's like in the perfect spot for you guys, but also in the perfect spot in my way sometimes. Yep. Excellent. So what I'm doing is that I'm pushing the threads through in the open segment here, so I can actually tie it off and fuse it off, and they won't even be able to see the ends, or at least the chances of it are minimal. It just gives it a nice clean look. I try to hide it when I can, because it gives a really nice look to it, but sometimes depending on the project you just can't pull it off. Now we got the other end. I know the angle's a little wonky, but well, I can actually, didn't think about it, I can actually can fix it.
beautiful. I'm gonna pretend I didn't say that. There we go. Actually, I don't even know if my supplier's open today. I'll have to look and find out. So back a stitch. Now that's tied off. Going through the opening. So the other thing that I'm doing with this, and I'm gonna try to see if I can get this in time for the stream, is the additional part of this sheath that I'm doing. Is obviously this guard's gonna go on there, but the question of, you know, like, how's it gonna stay in place is always a question to be had. Shit, that just works on itself. That's beautiful. It's freaking majestic. The only other thing that I would want to try to do with this thing is whoops. Come on. I'm trying to undo the clamp. What I'd like to try to do is do a strip of leather that is riveted right here. So that effectively what I'd like for him to be able to do is wrap it here, and then go like into like a receiver sleeve in here, which I think would just be kind of like like a really simple but nice touch. All I would need to do for that is what I probably need to do. Just thinking. In terms of like how I'm like imagining it to be, is cut or stamp a slit here and here, and then have that be a raised segment so he has a spot that it can slip into. I think that'd work. If I could do the rivet and strap right there. Sitting here trying to remember how the fuck I just did that. Yeah, because that's gonna not be enough like
structure to that. That would actually probably be better. So this is about as long as I need it to be. And the slit has to be here. There and there-ish. Thank you, Niz, by the way. I did see the comment. My brain was braining something hard. So just barely miss not going the rest of the way. Hit the bit part. There it is. Excellent. So in doing that, all I need to do then is just get the area wet, both front and back. That'll make it so the leather is more pliable. And then to make sure the flap comes up and stays up, that's going to sit in there. And then I think that's big enough. Nope. This will be though. There's a better way I can do this. Just trying to think. That works. Yep, that works beautifully. This will force that piece of leather inside here to be higher. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to double up on that so it's got a little bit more force, more compressive force to warp that, manipulate it.
I'll be right back.
Mm-hmm. It's only going to be a couple more minutes for me. Because timing-wise, that's perfect. Because once I get this set, for everyone else that's in the... You go ahead. For everyone that's in the chat, from here, I'm actually going to pass you guys off to the wonderful Alkali and Zanny, good friends of mine who are comedians that they go and performers. They go ahead and they go to various conventions and perform for charities to raise money. Sorry, that was me forgetting how to breathe. And they go ahead and they have a Twitch. They have a Twitch that they run too. So this has to sit and dry for this to be fully set. That's done. Essentially, that flashlight case is going to be done. your axe case is going to dry. I'll have that dyed and finished up by next week, and I'll get that to you, Griff. And then this will be done enough. I'll be sure to take some pictures of this. And we got ourselves essentially 3 completed projects. All right. Thank you all so much for sticking around. I'll pass you off over to Alkali and Zanny. I'm going to get some food. I will see you all in the next stream. I think I got a project lined up for that and what I want to do. So if you haven't already, be sure to follow the channel. You'll get to see and hang out with me and watch me do more of this leather project stuff. And I get to interact with you guys. So thank you all so much for sticking around with us. And you all have a fantastic day. Let me go ahead and get you over to them.